Hello, so today we're here with software engineer and fellow podcaster Shivank Goel. How are you feeling today, Shivank?
Yeah, so usually I am the one who is interviewing people, and it's good to be on the other side for once. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so we'll get into this kind of quickly. So we'll start with a couple of questions, just kind of about your journey. So can you share like your journey into the tech industry and like what kind of motivated you into the tech industry?
My father is a computer science professor, so I used to see him writing books on C++ and stuff like that. I had an early exposure writing some of the programs, and that fascinated me. So I'm like, okay, I want to go into computer science. That's why I chose this field and ultimately into tech. Though after my bachelor's, I did go to business school for a PhD. I thought maybe intersection of tech and business might be a cool idea, but I didn't like the business world and came back into tech as a software engineer. That's my journey so far.
Yeah, nice. So kind of like in your role, what's your like typical day? Like what do you do in the morning? Like how do you prepare for like big meetings or?
So for the big meetings, we usually prepare over past few days or even a week, depending on like what needs to be discussed in those meetings. Typically, starts with smaller meetings like stand-up quick meetings, and then usually people try to have meetings early on the day because later on they get lethargic to do meetings. But sometimes my complete day is filled with meetings, and usually there is no time to actually um, do your coding kind of stuff, which you still have to do if you are a mid-level engineer. Senior software engineers don't usually write code; they take just design decisions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what's your favorite project that you've made like in your whole career?
What's my favorite project? I'm still making it, and the current one is the favorite. But I can't tell you about the current one. Let me tell you about the previous one, which is launched. So I'm working with Bedrock Agents team. Bedrock Agents provides you infrastructure to run AI agents for enterprises, and one of the key thing is like you run a session with the agent, like you chatted with the agent, like you chat in the chat GPT, but you use when you open a new tab window, now it starts remembering what you talked about in previous sessions or previous tab windows. Earlier ChatGPT didn't have this feature. I built that feature for my product like Bedrock Agents, and it's called long-term memory.
And why do you think like that's your favorite one out of all your projects?
It's just my earlier team before Bedrock was not in AI space, and in the AI space, this is one of the first big projects I did where I had a lot of autonomy, a lot of decision making power, a lot of back and forth around decisions with senior engineers. How should we go about it? A lot of critical thinking went into it. It was fun. That's why.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when you come across like an issue or like a problem, like what kind of steps do you take to kind of get over that issue or?
It's a very subjective question.
Like if you or let's say if you're coding coding a project and you run into like an error, like what's your debugging process of that code?
So usually our integrated terminal, integrated IDEs basically, they have good debuggers in them. So unit testing is one of the ways. You just write unit test, run it through some code, and you will find some bugs. One thing is remote servers, where basically it starts a server on your local computer, just like a real server, hosted server out there. And then you send it the actual queries the user will send, and then you set the debug points and see where it is failing and stuff like that. It's pretty standard process in software engineering.
Nice. So for somebody that's looking into the tech industry like myself, like what advice would you give me going into the tech industry?
Know your why. Why do you want to go?
Well, for me, I want to go because I love coding. You know, I've been doing like Python and like Java for like a couple years now, and I really like coding things and like kind of introducing new programs into the world. So that's why I want to go to coding or go into computer science.
So tech world is a lot more than coding, I would say. Coding
Yeah.
is just part of it. Like I said, a lot of engineers, senior folks in tech are not coding. They are thinking about the end user experience, customer experience, what the product would be like. Will this product earn even money? Would would someone buy it, pay for it? Those kind of questions they're asking. It's more like a business at that point, not coding. A lot of people in the tech space are not driven by business, they are driven by innovation. So they are applied scientists, they want to create new things, build new things, they want to research, deep dive, push the boundaries. That's their motivation. And coding can be the motivation, but then like we are seeing in the AI age, AI can write most of the code. Then what's your USP? Can you write code better than AI? That's the question you have to ask if the coding is the only motivation you are going with.
Right. Right. For me, like I like to code, but then like I'm also interested in like the business thing. Like I'm kind of thinking of going into business and computer science, kind of like how you were trying. So I think that I can kind of like adapt to that. And then kind of similar to this, so if you're looking back on your like kind of past self, like as you were a child, like what advice would you give to him, like when he, like as he was growing up?
Um, I would say that when you haven't seen where you can be, you don't know that you take a lot of stress. Basically, I feel like, and if you're working hard, if you are growing, just have a confidence that you will reach wherever you want to be. Don't over stress about it. Is one of the things. Second thing is, I feel like when I was in college and all, college system is like it forces you to worry about grades and all. I think I would redo my approach this time. I will not worry about grades in the courses I'm not interested in. I will maybe not worry about grades in any of the courses and focus on what practical learning I'm learning from things. Because they are sometimes not one-on-one. If you want to go into deep into research and all, maybe courses are super helpful. But if you want to go deep into engineering, building stuff, thinking about product, maybe your courses might not be helpful. So striking the right balance, figuring that out rather than running in a rat race, I would say.
Okay. So are there any like new technologies like example like DeepSeek or any new AIs that you're kind of looking to like looking forward to, or just want to see how they're gonna be in the new market, or
I'm really curious, and I still don't know. I haven't read the white paper of DeepSeek that how were they able to train such a big model at fraction of a cost of the big companies OpenAI, Anthropic are doing. It really catches my curiosity, and I want it to be pushed even further where someone can train decent level LLMs on Mac. It's an ambitious goal. I don't know how many years it's gonna take, but I don't want that monopoly of big companies with lots of money to only be able to do so. And new architectures are definitely coming. LLM is one. There are like alternate transformer kind of architecture, not transformer kind of architecture. State space models is one of my seniors from ITL is researching on. So yeah, I'm excited about all of them. Very curious. Want to build some of them myself. Let's see.
okay. And the last question: are there any like misconceptions about like the tech industry that you want to kind of clear up for people who like think have like stereotypes on it, or
Don't come for the perks. Don't come for Google free food or freebies like some of the tech companies have that image for that. It's gonna be rosy life. Uh, Come for the kind of work you wanna do. Otherwise, even if you will join, you will fade away.
okay? Thank you so much for coming today, and I really enjoyed hearing about your story.
Thanks.